All right. Hey there, everybody. Happy Black History Month? Yes, I'm TJ Holmes. Today we are tackling some topics that black men often talk about in the barbershop or wherever we may be to get together during the holidays. We are talking about what it means to be black, how black men believe they are perceived, how they perceive the world. Of course, that perception is not monolithic, but got some folks here with me now who can help me out and have a conversation about black identity, about fatherhood, politics, black excellence. And here they are. Welcome now, good friend, welcome. Radio host, ABC News contributor Mike Muse, storyteller and creative director for the New York Times, Joel Leon, and filmmaker Justice Jamal Jones. Good to have all of you all here with us. And I don't want to start here being, what happens? Something sometimes feels icky to me because it's Black History Month. So now why can't I have this conversation with y'all in August? Why can't I have this? No, I mean, we laughing, but why is it we do this thing to where we only have some kind of a focus or emphasis on black something because, let's give them these 28 days. Does anybody else feel that way, or I'm just salty today?
You're not alone. I think I feel that way too as well. I feel like it's almost a corporate marketing branding strategy for Black History Month to become the moment where you pull together thought leaders, you pull together academics, you pull together activists, you pull together business leaders, all with this conversation and narrative. It's almost as if America needs to feel comfortable to have this conversation because leaning into blackness, and in particular leaning into black male identity, is very uncomfortable for America to deal with when you have the honest conversations of what needs to be said when you get beyond the tropes.
But Justice, am I supposed to be, I mean, I hate to be cynical there, but I also hate this feeling of, well, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. I feel it kind of similar with like Pride. Like when June comes around, everyone's like, all right, let's get all of the queer people together. And so like I think February and June have always been similar. But thinking back to kind of the way like my parents like raised me, like every day is Black History Month because this is the body that I'm in, and like our history goes so much further than like slavery and where we are here now. So yeah, it's every day.
Joel, what do you think? How are you feeling? Because we sat here, we did a similar conversation. Mike was here as a part of that one last year, but you know what we were talking about? We were talking about a black man being killed on video in Minneapolis and people were protesting in the streets. You know what we're talking about this year? As we were taping this, we're days away from a black man being killed on video and people taken to the streets in Minneapolis, Amir Locke. So what are we doing? I was hoping to have a more hopeful, a different type of conversation, but here we are. Not just talking about the same thing, but even in the same city.
Yeah, in the same city, in the same context, and I think this is nothing new, and I think that's the unfortunate part. Like we've been, and I think it kind of goes back also to your original question, TJ. Like it may not happen in front of the cameras, but we've been having these kind of complex conversations for some time. Now, whether corporations have caught wind of that, that's a different conversation. But I think the conversations about black lives, about black mortality, about loss, especially loss with regards to like a police-sanctioned state and state-sanctioned violence, right? That's not new for us. I think what's new now is how we get to talk about it, and how we also kind of find ways as communities to help aggrieve the situation and also try to find some level of like healing, which is hard to do when the violence keeps happening. But I think part of that is also us having discourse about the things that are like ailing us, so we can try to figure out an appropriate means of like, solving.
Are y'all tired? And again, maybe y'all caught me on a salty day. But are y'all? It just feels. It's exhausting, not just physically exhausting, but the mental and emotional exhaustion of having to have the conversation, to watch another video, to do another protest. And again, I know, look, Martin and Malcolm and them brothers went through stuff that we are privileged that we don't have to, but man, it just feels constantly, Mike, just exhausting.
You know what, TJ, it is exhausting, and I think I want to tie into what you and Joel and what you so eloquently said to Justice, is that what I'm thankful for, and this is not to give props to Disney because we're at ABC, but I'm glad we're having these internal conversations on a mainstream media network. far too often these conversations are done in the vacuum. And unfortunately, TJ, you are absolutely right that we are back here again discussing the same thing that we are. But imagine if we weren't back here again to mark where we were last year, to let America know nothing has changed. I know everyone is very hopeful for progress, and everybody is rushing to say progress, but here we are, 4 black men on a major network to say, no. How can you say progress when we have the tape from last year of us talking about another black man that was murdered, and then 1 year later, another black man is murdered. And so this is why these conversations need to happen.
Do you think there's a difference between like external progress of, I guess, like communities or like America in general versus like an internal progress of like a family? Because I personally feel that my family has had some internal progress in the last year with coping with these type of conversations and these nuanced conversations, especially with my father. We recently had a conversation about black men being killed and black trans women being killed. And that was a nuanced conversation that we had that really created so much progress within my family. And so I think now I'm just trying to take these moments, like this could be done in my family's home, right? Yeah. But take these moments as moments of, like, just really cherish these moments, because not that I've like given up on like America, I am pretty young, and that's a lot to say, but I've started to learn that it's the internal conversations and really just finding that progress that's making me feel much better.
But were those conversations prompted by what was happening in the world, what was happening in news that kind of forced these conversations, forced you all to, in an environment, forced you all to have to deal with issues that you hadn't dealt with before?
Yeah, and deal with things that we left unspoken, you know? And I think sometimes, me as a person that I don't identify as a black man anymore, I'm non-binary, my pronouns are they, them. And that was difficult for my father to understand, but there are places that I still do like come together with my father and my brother about what is the upbringing as a black man and how these conversations still need to happen at home.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.